Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! You have had the honor to record so many wonderful videos inspired by your favorite characters and all these moments that have defined you through being fans of Descendants and Zombies for however many years you've been a fan of the franchise has been the greatest honor of my life. To have the honor to spend the holiday season around so many people who are fans of Descendants and Zombies has been an honor unlike anything I've ever experienced in my lifetime, I must say. It's been an incredible experience having the honor to hear your stories about what's inspired you to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and to have the honor to share with you my stories about what's made me a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I've been on YouTube for a very long time, but I have never seen a franchise or characters have such a profound impact on my life. For those of you who have been subscribed to this YouTube channel for a very long time, I've been a really big fan of Ruby Rose Turner for forever. I've had the biggest crush on Ruby Rose Turner for forever, and I think that loving Ruby Rose Turner for however long I've been a fan of Ruby Rose Turner has really defined me as being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because it's really inspired me to become a better person. And then from out of nowhere, here comes Freya Skye being a part of the Zombies franchise and really dedicating her life to each and every one of you. And I must say, I really felt inspired by Freya because she touched my heart in so many unbelievable ways. Even with how much I miss Ruby Rose Turner not being a part of this generation moving forward, because our time with the Descendants franchise was very short-lived, and I refused to quit on Ruby Rose Turner's story having been told and completed. I love Freya Skye so much for her presentation, because of what you see is what you get with Freya, and I wish more celebrities would kind of perceive herself over the last at least 25 years the same way that Freya Skye has always, forever, and always been. Because I think that with Freya, what you see is what you get, and she really speaks from her heart when she relates to each and every one of you, for PR that she does all the time for Zombies, for PR she does for her music, and for PR she's done recently for the iHeartRadio Jingle Ball 2025. There are a number of big names on the iHeartRadio Jingle Ball for 2025, but I think going into this one, everybody was really excited to see what Freya Skye was going to be offering. We didn't know if she was going to be singing her latest single, Silent Treatment, or her Christmas song heading into this one, but I think for whatever reason, we were excited for Freya Skye being a part of the iHeartRadio Jingle Ball 2025. I think we looked at it as an opportunity, because coming off the success of the Worlds Collide Tour, it was unlike anything that I had ever experienced in my lifetime, because I think never enough nice things can be said about people who were a part of the Worlds Collide Tour, because the issue that I had with the Worlds Collide Tour forever and always lied with the critics, because the critics didn't really want to give much of a chance to your favorite stars. They didn't want to really give the whole tour and the collaboration of it much of a chance. But I think that the fans who showed up with so much incredible love and support that they showcased all the time for the Worlds Collide Tour, for whatever venue you may have attended, really is what got this one over. And it's what will ensure the success of Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour heading overseas in parts of the UK, Australia, Germany, which is something I'm incredibly excited about. Having the chance to profile the Worlds Collide Tour Leg 1 from earlier this past summer was the greatest honor of my life, and the most fun that I ever had as a radio show host or a YouTuber, because you look for these opportunities to be a part of moments that will never ever be forgotten. That's one thing that I've always wanted to be a part of, and you guys allowed me to become your voice of Descendants and Zombies and share with you these incredible moments. So because you guys allowed me to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies and really become a part of something special and share with you these incredible moments, these are moments that I will never ever forget, because these moments are so special. So I believe that when you approach a video about Freya Skye and you present a video about Freya Skye, the best thing you can do for everybody, whoever was a fan of Freya Skye and believed in her so much, is talk about her with promise and hope for a foreseeable future, because that's what Descendants and Zombies really set out to give each and every one of us. A feeling of acceptance, a chance for hope, a chance for happily ever after existing, and whatever we believed in because of Descendants and Zombies, that was something we held on to from the very beginning. Because the reoccurring theme of the very first Zombies movie back in 2018, on February 16, 2018, was acceptance. No matter how somebody had to achieve it, or no matter how somebody had to stand out, all they ever wanted was to be accepted, and to feel accepted in a world that they never felt acceptance existed for them. But as Zombies continued on from chapter to chapter, and we saw so many characters, from zombies to werewolves to aliens to eventually vampires, being represented. I think everybody achieved their own form of acceptance and felt special, a part of something that they never ever wanted to see its end to. And I think that forever and always we've held on to that. No matter our favorite characters were Zed and Addison, if they eventually became Victor and Nova, we all saw something special and found something special in the Zombies franchise. And that's really what Zombies did for me. Zombies not only presented me an opportunity to talk about a franchise, but it also presented me an opportunity to meet so many incredible fans who too felt inspired by their favorite characters and all these moments they became defined through. Because I think there are more people out there in this world who are zombieing out than ever given credit for. So because there are more people in this world zombieing out than ever given credit for, I think a lot of people could relate to the Zombies franchise, because how often do you feel as if nobody's really paying attention to what you're talking about or how you really feel about something going on in your life that you surround yourself with? I think this happens more often than enough. And when it comes to the feeling of being ghosted because of the message behind the single silent treatment, I think this happens every day to somebody, regardless if they choose to admit to it or not. And that's why I felt very supportive of songs from Zombies 4 down to the Vampires and some of Freya Sky's latest singles, because they can relate to people more than any other artist ever could. We remember Taylor Swift from years ago, all the way back in 2008, if we can flash ourselves back to 2008 when Taylor Swift saw all this unprecedented success. I think one of the biggest reasons why Taylor Swift became such a huge success was because of her music. But I think that more people can relate to Freya Sky now in 2025, fast forwarding ahead to 2025, than they ever could Taylor Swift, because it seemed like Taylor Swift was all about her image and what her record label, Big Machine Records at the time, eventually becoming Hollywood Records, wanted her to achieve. And then she got all these opportunities for all these doc series like the Eras Tour and stuff like that. Taylor Swift's popularity exceeded the expectations of everybody out there. But I think more people can relate to Freya's music ever before they could Taylor Swift's, because of just how she defined herself through this music. And with her, what you saw is what you got. And that's something I give Freya Sky such a profound amount of respect for. I also have a lot of respect for Taylor Swift, but I have more respect for Freya Sky than I ever have had for anybody in the music industry now, because of how she can define herself through this music and how appreciative she is really of all these moments she's had to share with each and every one of you. It is beyond me why people could never make sense of the new characters in the Zombies franchise, even with how much more of a beautiful story they had yet to be told, because we really don't know that much about these characters. I mean, I think for 7 years, Zed and Addison's characters held a very special place in each and every one of our hearts, because we could relate to these characters, and the situations they were caught up within in this production was something that we could relate to more than we ever give ourselves credit for. So because of that, they held a special place in each and every one of our hearts. But I think that the place that Freya Sky and Malachi Burton's characters, Victor and Nova, have yet to hold in our hearts is going to be something so spectacular, along with all these mysterious characters that are going to be revealed in Seabrook because of this vortex. Because the reality of this is, we don't know what's inside of this vortex. We don't know what's yet to come. So because we don't know what's yet to come, that makes Zombies 5, and it's setting up for one of the most unpredictable movies of the franchise, one of the most unpredictable chapters that we've ever seen before. Now, I've lived on an island for many years of my life, so stories about mermaids and pirates are stories that I've often appreciated, because there are so many variations of so many different stories about mermaids and pirates that I've heard over the years. And to be honest with each and every one of you, living on this island presents a really relaxing feeling. Looking at the moon every night through your window offers you a great deal of inspiration for every video that you may have ever recorded about Descendants of Zombies. And that's why a lot of YouTube creators can never record as effectively produced videos as what I ever could. Because I've always believed in producing videos thinking about how a fan feels about Descendants of Zombies. And by looking at the light of the moon every night, thinking about all these legendary stories about mermaids and pirates, have offered me a great deal of incentive to create so many videos, along with a great deal of inspiration behind every video that I've ever recorded. Because one should believe there is a future for the Zombies franchise. I know how a lot of people feel about Zombies, saying that Zombies 5 should never be made, should never be thought of, but I think it has everything to do with how a person's really believed in zombies from the very beginning, thinking there should be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 movies about zombies. And I have this to say to each and every one of you. If you are a person who believes that Zombies 5 is going to happen, perhaps you should continue on believing that, because we still have so much of a journey to be a part of. And I've been paying close attention to the trends on YouTube, what people are looking for on YouTube every night, wanting to know if Zombies 5 is going to happen. And sure, I think Zombies 5 is going to happen. I think it's going to be on Disney Channel HD Verizon, like many people have been leaving for me in the comments saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke, do you think Zombies 5 is going to happen on Disney Channel HD Verizon or whatever provider we're subscribed to, because many of you don't have Disney Plus? I think you should forever hold on to that belief, because here's the thing. Freya Sky and Malachi Burton, they know if Zombies 5 is going to happen, but because they're under so many restrictions with the Disney company, they can't really tell you how they feel about it. They can't really tell you if Zombies 5 is going to happen. We know it's in development, and it's going to become available in 2026. More news on the development of Zombies 5. I'd say by the midway point of 2026, we'll know more about Zombies 5, but because we don't know much detail on the development of Zombies 5, we can't relay that specific information to each and every one of you. But you see, what it comes down to is how much each and every one of you believe in Zombies 5 happening, how much you believe in this story seeing an expansion, and an extension of what we've already seen. Because when you think about it, we've seen zombies, we've seen werewolves, we've seen aliens by Zombies 3, and I think everybody has wanted to have a desire to be beamed up by aliens at one point or another in their lifetime. I can't begin to tell you how many times as growing up as a teenager I wanted to be abducted by aliens because it looked so cool, and then I heard all these stories and all these alien abduction TV series online also about how people felt they had been abducted by aliens, that they had no reoccurring memory of what may have happened to them, what happened to them to become abducted by aliens. And then, I always took a great deal of interest in this kind of thing, and I thought it was really cool. That's why I've always wanted to be a part of a franchise like the Zombies franchise, because I believe that could offer so much to it. Because one of the things that I've always noticed about the Zombies and Descendants franchises even are the characters that are in the Descendants and Zombies franchises always seem to be revolving doors, either part of the production team or part of the cast. We've always seen people come in and leave the Descendants and Zombies franchise without ever offering any explanation. And I say this because a lot of that had to do with how I felt about how Ruby Rose Turner had been removed from the Descendants franchise without ever having a story told and completed, because she did such a fabulous job telling her story about the character Bridget, about how the character Bridget represented how the Queen of Hearts was made to feel. And I really get it. The Queen of Hearts was created with the sole purpose of being one of the most revered and one of the most annoying Disney villains of all time because of the general aspect of her voice. I remember watching the original Alice in Wonderland Classic and becoming so annoyed by the Queen of Hearts voice and this fat kind of character that really had no significance in the franchise. But when I really sat back and put it into perspective, for every hero in every Disney franchise there has to be a villain, because their story can't exist. Their story can't be represented. And even if you couldn't find something for Ruby Rose Turner to do with the concept of time travel having been taken out of the Descendants franchise, one should never believe that her story has been told and completed, because there's nothing for her to do, because you could very easily find something for her to do. She could be one of the new princesses of Wonderland, and she could have something to do with the Kingdom Cup games having found their way into Oregon. She could make sweets and cookies and baked goodies for everybody attending these games who were partaking in the games. I would love the opportunity to be a character in the new Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, just to have the chance to meet Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget and fall in love with her, because that's a movie in its own right. That's a story in its own right. Bridget is a character who you can have up to 3 movies on just alone, telling her own story and her own version of what happened with Red and Chloe and how she was so valuable of an asset to their story, even if it was a TV series for Disney Plus, because there's been a lot of conversation about how the setting of Descendants could be turned into a TV series called Oregon, which is something that I could really go for, or another character having a spin-off series. If you can do it for Sam and Cat, who had so much fame from Victorious, you can do the exact same thing for characters from Descendants and Zombies with how much rarity they have achieved. Because so many people feel very passionate about their favorite characters. They've collected all the Descendants and Zombies merch having everything to do with Descendants and Zombies. They've been there from the very beginning, and I think that shows a lot of loyalty to your favorite characters and how much you really believe in this and how much you really believed in my vision for this YouTube channel, because I've had an unbelievable vision for this YouTube channel. I never ever thought this YouTube channel would exceed all my expectations, but it's gone on to do just that, because everybody feels very passionate about how I felt about Descendants and Zombies, and I've been able to share in that with each and every one of you. That's what made this all worth it for me as the host of this show, not only having the chance to talk about Descendants and Zombies, but having the honor to meet so many wonderful people who too have felt so inspired by everything I've had to say about Descendants and Zombies, because I really do believe we still have a long way to go. Nobody should ever buy into what the critics feel about Descendants and Zombies, what they've had to say, because we still have so much to discuss and we still have so much to be a part of as fans of Descendants and Zombies. And I look forward to sharing in these experiences with each and every one of you, because one can choose to believe that this story is over and has reached its dramatic conclusion, but we still have so much to discuss. We have so much to be excited about for the futures of Freya Sky. We have so much to be excited about for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. And I, for one, am just excited to be a part of it, to share in these experiences with each and every one of you. Because I have so much to say about Kylie Cantrell. I just love telling you guys how I feel about Kylie Cantrell. I love seeing her have fun for forever and surrounding herself by all these beautiful friends who she can never seem to give enough credit to. Because one thing I noticed about Kylie Cantrell's music videos are, in the credits of every music video, she always credits her friends like Keanu Romero and Malia Baker for making cameos in these music videos that she was so excited to honor. And I think that her honoring her friendships gives us even more reason to honor her and to be more supportive of her than ever before, because when people always include Kylie Cantrell's political point of view and her relationship status in conversations that she seemingly has never had any business being a part of, I think that Kylie Cantrell deserves more credit and more respect than ever before. And that's why I come out every single time that I record a video with so much love and support for Kylie, because I really do believe that she still has a long way to go. I mean, she's always surrounding herself with a positive vibe. She's always offering encouragement to everybody about how a dream can happen for everybody. We saw that back at the Worlds Collide Tour being more evident than ever before. And again, the success of the Worlds Collide Tour had everything to do with each and every one of you and how much you believed in it, because however you believed in the Worlds Collide Tour ensured its success, and it will ensure its future, because leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour is rumored currently to happen sometime between now and the latter part of 2026. So given that leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour is going to happen sometime between now and the latter part of 2026, opening up the doors for more exposure in parts of the UK, Australia, Germany, it's something to be really excited about. And I've just wanted to give people hope through every video that I've ever uploaded about Descendants of Zombies, because I wanted to feel as if I was a part of something special, because having the chance to celebrate the holiday season of 2025 with each and every one of you was the greatest honor of my life, and an honor that I will never ever forget. Just having the chance to share with you my stories about what's inspired me to be a fan of Descendants of Zombies has been an experience that I will never ever forget, and I just want to be here till the very end, because each and every one of you have allowed me to be a part of each and every one of your lives, have allowed me to be a part of something special, and I can never seem to thank each and every one of you. So if you're somebody who believes that Ruby Rose Turner's story is just beginning and it's far from having been told and completed, I want you to hold on to that. If you're somebody who believes that Zombies 5 is coming, I want you to hold on to that. And I want you to feel more encouraged in your predictions and your thoughts that you've had about things like Descendants 5 with Wonderland, all the predictions you have made, all the conversations we have yet to discuss. And when it comes to Zombies 5, I know 2028 feels like forever away. It seems like forever and it's never going to come. 2028, oh my God! You know, what do we have to say about that? I really don't know. I think it's just people trying to create conversations because they have nothing else to have a conversation about when it comes to Descendants of Zombies. So they're looking at 2028, given that Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, happened in 2025. They're thinking 2028, 3 years apart from Zombies 4 and Zombies 5 eventually happening. But even when Zombies 5 happens, looking at 2027, 2028, that will open up the door for more beautiful of a story to be looked at and to be examined and really to be explored for Victor Renova. And it's one that I'm incredibly excited to be a part of because I get to share in it with each and every one of you. You know, one can choose to criticize Descendants of Zombies as franchises all the time, but it's just because it has everything to do with that I've never had really a greater appreciation for these franchises and how far they've come in such a short amount of time. You know, 10 years, a lot can happen in 10 years, and undeniably, a lot's happened in 10 years for Descendants of Zombies fans. But having said that, we still have a long way to go, and we have a lot to be excited about. So one should never close the book on Descendants of Zombies or any thought they've ever had on it, because when it comes to the success of Freya Sky, it is truly unparalleled to anything that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I've just felt so honored to have been a part of it with each and every one of you, because of each and every one of you, because you guys are the ones who brought Freya Sky to my attention. So because you guys are the ones who forever and always have brought Freya Sky to my attention, I think she deserves to be celebrated. Her accolades deserve to be commended, and I think that the best way of doing that is by each time that you record a video about Freya Sky, never be afraid to let the world know how you feel about Freya Sky or feel about a song like Silent Treatment, because you can relate to a song like Silent Treatment perhaps more than you've ever been able to relate to any song that Freya Sky has ever dropped. Because I think we've all been able to relate to every song that Freya has ever released, but when it comes to a song like Silent Treatment, this one is special in its own right and should be given more of a chance than perhaps ever before. Having said that, guys, thank you so much for every bit of love you've shown every video that I've ever uploaded on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me, yours truly, Jonathan Clarke, the host of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs, the only unofficial Descendants of Zombies podcast on YouTube right now, the most popular Descendants of Zombies podcast on YouTube right now. I hope you will join me tonight for more conversation happening about Descendants of Zombies on this YouTube channel, happening between sunset this evening and now. Thank you guys so much for all the love you've shown every video that I've ever uploaded on this YouTube channel, because there are more great videos on the way, because when it comes to this story, it is far from over, meaning that we still have a long way to go. Thank you so much for having watched this video.